Training, presented by Kim Sales and Debbie Ellingen. We are making this movie on Thursday, November 15th, 2012, for all of you to watch because the new rollover to Seeds4Schools.net happens as of January 1st, 2013. To get into Seeds4Schools.net, you can go two ways. You will see on the screen here that we are in the old, or what they call classic seeds, and if you go up into the right hand corner in the arrow, it will take you directly to Seeds4Schools.net. You can also Google and type your Seeds4Schools.net directly into your search engine. When you do that, make sure that you log in using Seeds4Schools.net. Otherwise, you're going to end up at a Florida online facility. As you see, we have a different looking home page, and the home page now in Seeds4Schools is a dashboard, and it's in the shades of green. Every time you go in and out of this to return to the home page, instead of using the back arrow, you are going to punch onto or click on the Seeds4Schools logo with the three little triangles up on the left-hand side. That will always bring you back to the dashboard. There are some features of the dashboard that you will see now as we look down. First of all, it says Find Students. This is the first quick search, and what you do is type in a student's last name, and then you have permissions to access. All right, we're going to go to Johnny Bravo in just a few minutes, but you will also see before you do that, if you want to go back to the original screen, on your original dashboard, you will see an area called Recent Activity. The Recent Activity will display links that you've been in, the last 5 activities that you've done within Seeds4Schools.net. Then there's a message board. That's the megaphone down on the bottom. The megaphone here tells you that the new PTP, live wire access for grades or teachers of grades 6 through 12, has a link under Create Forms. You can use either the Create Forms or that you can link directly to the WAMS site and go live in the user that we had done with our training. Also, you will see over on the right side of the dashboard quick links. Quick links are shortcuts. They will list the user's class list and the due dates of meetings. So you'll see your class list, you'll see evaluation IEPs that are due more than 60 days over, more than 30 days over, more than 14 days over, as well as just an overdue list of evals and IEPs. The last section on the dashboard in the lower right talks about all the kinds of staff reports that you can get. There is the assessment accommodation, so you could sort your list by accommodation. You can get your current reevaluation by your classroom or by itinerant. There is a form status, an IEP data report, an IEP planning sheet, and then you can also do labels, an itinerant services class list, and a master class list. On the top right, just above your green dashboard, your navigation tools say Students, Toolbox, and Help. Mine have a couple of other areas added in, like Medicaid and Reports. Under Students at the top, if you push on that, you will get a district drop-down. If you have multiple districts, you can limit your search to that district. You will see under ours you have a testing district as well as the school district of North Fond du Lac. Okay, in the toolbox back up on the right, you can see there are settings and preferences where you can have the words in English, the words in Spanish, Hmong, and you can set these up in your preferences underneath the toolbox here. Now going on, If you would click on district and you find then go to find a student in that district, you will see a drop down or a search of all of the students that you have. There are other ways to filter. You can filter by the evaluations in process. You can also filter by showing all of the things that you have come, or just the active or those that are inactive. When you look at the list of students there, you will see about 6 or 7 categories going across. You can sort by their last name, you can sort by the first name, by their birth date, by the IEP dates, and by the evaluation due date. You will even find an area in a gray button up at the top where you can print your own class list right off. The actions over on the right will open up a screen. View will open up the student detail page. Okay, if you want to go to Johnny Bravo's. And on the student detail page, you see all of the identifying information along the top. To view the details, you can click on a tab, okay? And when you do click on one of the tabs, you have the choices of print preview, create it in a PDF, and others going across that page. The data in these tabs populate to all the rest of the forms and other components that follow. So if you do that and you go into student details, when you update, you'd have to scroll all the way down to save your changes to make these apply to all of the form changes that you do for that event. And you can push the Save Changes button down at the bottom. That will send that new address or phone number across all of those forms. You will also be able to do that for areas such as the parent and guardian details, the district details, which is up on the top, or the evaluation details or enrollments. If we go back to our dashboard by clicking the logo, you will see that we can go to events and forms and creating a new event. So we're going to go into Johnny Bravo again. Let's take one back. Okay, under Johnny Bravo student details, if you want to create a new event, it's over on the right-hand side up at the top. An event is what organizes all the forms to be with one specific occurrence. So if you're going to have an initial or all of the types, they're listed there. You can have an initial, a re-eval, an annual, an interim or an update, a service plan. It can be a transfer. You can exit a student. And you can also have the miscellaneous forms, which would be things like saving records for 5 years or possibly doing a manifestation. Once you add in an event, and we are going to add in an initial, and then you push Add Event, you will see that you can go next to create the form that you need to do. All right, this looks very similar to the old Seeds. You have your student and your adult forms. We are going to create an A3 consent regarding the need to conduct additional assessments. Okay, you will see there's an other option added in the text box there. Okay, and you'll also see a box added in called Amended, and those things will let you scroll way down. You can add an initial or a drop down in the first paragraphs there to a re-evaluation. All right, and then way down at the bottom is a new area added, which is for Kim and myself, which is called For School District Use Only. This allows us to put in some dates that we receive things from people. All right. When you go to the forms, then you can see you can also edit the forms, and you can amend them as we shared. So now we'll go in and we're going to create a new form, and we're going to use a student. Let's use Chester Tester on this one. So we're going to go back to students, and we're going to choose Chester Tester. Okay, and when we do Chester Tester, we're going to view him, and we'll create the A6 IEP Team Evaluation Report this time. Okay, so she'll go in and do the A6 evaluation report here. Oh, one up. There you go. Alrighty, and here you'll see a couple of things have changed. The form now has been divided into several different sections that we've had by adding the new specific learning disabilities and reevaluation criteria questions. So as we scroll down the form, you will see there's a section on the review of the existing data. Okay. You will also see there is the questions about the RTI data that we have to put in, as well as the 1.25 standard deviation materials and the observation that you have to do. All of those are created within there. And you can tell that they're in the same sections when you scroll across the right top of this form as we had before. The section numbers have not changed. So you'll see sections 1 through 7 over there. If we look at another form, and for Chester, we will go next to a transition form for Chester. And the transition form is way down here, right here. And when you go to that I3 S2, you will see that there are a lot of options here for you. You can do a couple of things here. The Seeds4 will allow teachers to choose this form and fill it out, or you can log in right here, and that is going to take you to the post-secondary plan WAMS ID that grades 6 through 12 have to do. And you'll go live right in there, and it'll take you right to that. So if you are in a wireless area or you can't get on, you may fill out your form, but if you can go right to this and keep moving with your IEP. Section 3, in terms of some of the things that have been removed, we discussed it way back in our August in-service. Some of the questions that are removed are that integrated technology item and the statewide language assessment. When you submit, the options to submit, when you scroll down to the very bottom of a form, allow you to do the same things that Seeds in the classic form does. You can save to a draft, and that'll allow a watermark to appear across the top of the document. You can save to final copy. This is what you need to save to when you're going to turn it in to Mrs. Sales or myself. You can save as in progress, so if you worked on it today and you have a little bit more work to do on tomorrow, you can submit the data and it will return to the form. And then if you cancel, it'll return to the form and reset all data. Nothing will be saved at all. You can also go over to the right there and see a print preview, and you can see what your form will look like. Going back to our list of forms, for Chester, in this case, 2 new forms have been added. And the 2 new forms, as we scroll down, are creating the forms, are the S4S, way down at the bottom, and the S14. These have to do with students who are from 18 to 21. The S4S is the Notice of Ending Services because the student has turned 21. And the S14 is the Performance Summary, which is very similar to a PLOP for students who are 21 years of age. It tells what their current academic and functional performance is and what they're able to do as they exit the school district and enter either the world of work or an agency. If we go back and look at the list of forms under Forms and Events on the dashboard, okay, you will see, scrolling across under Forms and Events, you will see there are the options to print preview. Oops, let me go back to just where you were before. Tester. You will see you have the option of print preview. You can create a PDF. You can delete, you can copy, and you can move it. You can even copy the IEP and from one year to the next. To do this, you would select the form and then you click on the word copy here. You choose your event to copy and click and submit, and this would upload last year's form into this year's IEP, and then you just have to make an edit. The form here, the status, will show you whether it's an active or whether it's in draft or in final copy over here. And most of these that you see in front of you are draft. You will want it in final copy when it's submitted to us. Your actions over at the side allow you to go back and edit it or to email the form to all the participants. So parents could have an email of what the IEP looks like. You're also able to, under the student detail view, take a look and you can even print a label or an envelope for this student. So you could click on print label or envelope under events and forms. And then you could print your label. And those are the types of things that you can do for this that are different than the old classic Seeds. In your navigation tools up at the top, you also have the Medicaid option. That'll open you right up to Compass Care, that application for Medicaid eligible students, and reports, and you can go back to old classic reports that were in Seeds 2. Your toolbox up on the right hand side there allows you settings and preferences. In those there are some tabs. The district tab will allow you to default this North Fond du Lac School District as your setting. Your contacts will pre-fill all your various forms and have that as a feature that you can do. You can also view options, which allows you to filter. Okay. You will see that there are options to have English and Spanish Word documents created for you, as well as parents' rights. In the activities section, you are able to log in and you can go right to www.seeds4schools.net, settings and preferences. You can do that and log in as practice. And if you want to practice creating some forms on your own and playing with Seeds 4, you could create an invitation, a cover page, or even a sample IEP. If you have questions about Seeds 4 Schools, Mrs. Sales and I are becoming more knowledgeable as you're learning about it too. And please, you can call either one of us or email us with these questions. Remember, we'll all be using this as of January 1st. Some of you have dabbled in it, and we encourage you to take a look at the PowerPoint and this movie to become familiar with this before January arrives. Thank you very much, and good luck with Seeds 4.